Hey guys, welcome to the Magfed Ranch Paintball channel, and today I'm going to be doing a top 5 video. But before we get into it guys, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, share, and comment. Okay, let's begin. So today's top 5 topic will be the top 5 things not to do with your T15 or to your T15. Okay guys? And so it's not going to be just for FYI, it's not going to be specifically one thing, potentially. It could be obviously kind of a broad general thing of what not to do or not, with to do with your T15, okay guys? So I'm going to bring the camera in so that way I can kind of show some details a little bit more clear when I go over some of those things that you should not do with the T15, okay guys? All right. Okay guys, so real quick, the marker that I'm going to be using for today's demonstration is going to be our Honey Badger clone marker. Really love this marker, super compact, 5.5 inch, I believe 6-inch barrel with a fake suppressor on there guys, right? So, but anyways, let's start out with number 5 guys, okay? Number 5 is going to be not modifying your T15 guys. The T15 is such a great marker for modifying, for enhancing, right, to soup up. It obviously shares very similar proportions, features, tear down, breakdown compared to a real steel AR-15, right? So I think it would be a huge injustice if you got your T15 and didn't modify it in some way, shape, or another. Now, do you have to go and change the handguards? Do you have to go paint it? No. I think the factory T15 with the M-Lock handguard, the newest version anyways, I think is a really beautiful looking marker. But what I mean by that is, put some optics on it, right? Get a red dot, get a crossbow scope, change the barrel so that way it performs better with first strike rounds, right? Change the grip if you think the grip angle or like the grip is not to your liking. Change the buttstock if you don't like the appearance. But in terms of just overall performance and aesthetics, I think it would be a shame if you didn't at least try to enhance one of those aspects of the marker. And specifically, I think performance, because this marker is a really good first strike capable marker, especially with the 19 round magazines out of the box, that not using it for first strike rounds and playing with it and trying to get the performance better, I think would be a huge disservice to it. Now, speaking of modifying, if you're going to be rocking the 11 round shorty magazines, definitely check out my video guys where I show you guys how to modify the metal collar on those magazines. But that would definitely be on this number 5 discussion as well too, right? To modify that collar of the 11 round magazine so that way it's more reliable with first strike rounds. Okay guys, so number 5 is modifying. Like if you're you have to do something guys. I think that would be, like I said, a huge dishonor to this marker. Okay, number 4 is maintenance guys. If you don't maintain this marker, right, it's not going to perform well, just like any other machine, any other marker. Now, don't get me wrong, the marker is really reliable out of the box, but there's a few quirks about it. For example, I'll open this up. We talked about it, right, where you want to make sure that this O-ring is in place. This one typically doesn't get popped out unless, of course, you separate the halves like I just did there. But the more important one is you'll notice that there's a little pinhole right here on the side of the receiver, and that is a little spring-loaded detent that holds this upper half in place. And so if you depress it, this piece will come out. Go. Okay, so that piece will come out guys, and what you want to do from time to time is just check this O-ring You notice that it popped out of place when I separated the halves, but if you fire the marker a lot, if you just play with the marker a lot, this halves will kind of just slightly shift, and this O-ring can potentially come unseated like you see here. So you just want to make sure that the O-ring is in place correctly, and you just want to check that from time to time. Okay. And it's quite simple to do. You could just use a little small screwdriver, a little small tool like I have here, to make sure that it's sitting inside the groove. Okay. Obviously, I'm not trying to damage the O-ring, guys, but just make sure that it's sitting into the little pear-shaped groove. You see it here, it's sitting properly here. So yeah, one of the things that you want to check from time to time, guys, this piece just sits right on top. Just have to depress that little, and then it snaps right in place once again. Yeah, things like that, guys. Lightly lubricating it, as you'll notice that it doesn't really have a lot of grease or lube from the factory, but just slightly doing it. Obviously the O-ring on the buttstock tank, guys, right? Just lightly lube that as well. You don't need that much lube. Same thing with the bolt assembly. All right, guys, you can just lube it slightly in here as well too. Okay. Right, specifically, you'll notice here all the O-rings, the 3 O-rings, the shaft of the body, because this obviously slides back and forth on it. So just lightly lube it, guys. You can use a grease too if you want, but you'll notice that they don't use a whole lot, and I wouldn't recommend putting a whole lot on there either. Of course, take it out from time to time to clean any paint debris, any FSR shelling that might have gotten in here if there was a break or anything like that. So make sure you clean this out, especially just kind of this whole chamber here where the bolt slides in and out on the upper receiver, guys. Anything that would prevent, it binding up or scratching or whatever, right? Okay. Bam, put everything back. Okay. I'll keep those 2 halves separate just in case we get into something else. So that's number 4, guys. It's just maintenance. Make sure you're lubing. Make sure you're checking that O-ring, the pear-shaped O-ring that I just showed you in there. Yeah, I mean, just make sure it's clean, obviously, right? Make sure your barrel is clean as you're squeegeeing it out. Any one of those things can obviously lead to FSR reliability. If it jams up or if it obviously causes the frown to flip, that could be anything. So cleaning inside the upper and lower receiver, guys, is very important. And of course the barrel chamber as well. The other thing that you want to maintain, not on the newer version of the T15, but of course, if you have the older versions without the sleeve, it's just making sure that your barrel adapter retention screw right here is tight with thread paste. I've yet to have any of my markers come loose, but that's just another thing just to make sure. So that way you can see here the barrel adapter, the cutout right here. You'll notice that it's perfectly aligned and it won't move because the barrel is solid. You'll notice that because I tightened it down, the barrel has no wobble to it. So that's definitely one of the things that you would like to do with your T15, okay? All right, number 3, guys, on my list is going to be not using First Strike rounds, guys. I talked to you guys about it before. I'm not a round ball proponent. This First Strike, the T15 from First Strike it works so well with First Strike rounds, guys, out of the box, especially with the 19 round magazines. Try First Strike rounds, play with First Strike rounds, so not playing with First Strike rounds, I think is such a waste of this marker. you know, especially with Magfed too. You know, the Magfed, where the performance is. I know some of you guys out there, you know, what's the difference between Magfed and speedball guns or just normal paintball guns, guys? You know, a normal gun, a normal speedball gun, it's the performance is gonna crush a Magfed marker with just normal paintball. I get it if you enjoy the limited ammo gameplay, like, you know, pump, or if you just enjoy the challenge. I'm not hating on that at all, but just in terms of performance, without First Strike rounds, this is no different than a limited capacity paintball marker, right? But with the First Strike rounds, it changes it into such a realistic gameplay, long distance, accurate shooting, you know, zeroing it with optics, that you got to use First Strike rounds with it. So not playing with First Strike rounds, I think, is just, man, why, right? Why not play with First Strike rounds, okay? So that's number 3. Number 2, guys, you guys know I hate this about any of our Magfed markers, but just playing with the hopper adapter. Like, once again, why? We already talked about this on another video, guys. Go check out my top 5 video of things I hate the most about the T15, but they had to kind of change up the barrel design, the way the barrel is attached to the marker, because they had to take, you know, make provisions for this hopper adapter. If we didn't have to do this, I think they could have came up with a better barrel adapter, barrel attachment design. Could have been more solid, not have to mess with a screw, you know, they wouldn't have had to come up with the barrel sleeve that they release now, so that way the barrel doesn't wobble. It would have just, you know, not needed, right? It didn't have to add that feature, okay? And once again, like I said, playing with a hopper, besides the realism look of it looking like a, you know, real AR, it doesn't perform as well as a, you know, a high quality speedball marker, and it doesn't perform much better than some more affordable hopper marker. So why not just play with, you know, if price is an issue, why not just play with a more affordable hopper marker? So yeah, just hopper adapter, no point on a Magfed gun, guys, okay? Now, number 1 on my list. Number 1 on my list is not playing with this thing at all. Guys, go play with your T15 markers, go play with your Magfed markers when you get them, right? Or go test them out, go zero them, right? Go, you know, test them so that way you can adjust the velocity. The velocity screw is right here, guys, on the side of the marker. Righty is lowering the velocity, so turning it to the right lowers the velocity. Turning it to the left, lefty-loosey, increases the velocity. Go get a chrono, right? Go test your velocity. Go watch my videos where I show you guys how to zero the marker with either the iron sights or with some type of optic. So yeah, go test it. Go see how well it performs. Work out all the bugs on your marker if there is any. I'll be honest with you guys, if you know, everything is in place from the factory like it is, these markers are super reliable out of the box. Like I said, they just kind of require those little small maintenance things that you need to check periodically. But yeah, go check them out, test it out with First Strike, go play with it, go see how well, you know, your setup and your loadout does, okay, guys? So yeah, guys, that's my top 5 things of not, you know, what not to do with your T15, right? So number 5 is not modifying it. You know, please do something to the T15, man. It just begs to be modified. Number 4 was not maintaining the marker, right? It just requires so little maintenance to be reliable. You know, little things just the way you know it's going to work every time. Cleaning it, for example, taking it apart and cleaning it when you go play. Number 3, guys, is not using First Strike rounds. Guys, this thing, like the M17 from Valken, is just really capable of First Strike right out of the box, you know, with their 19-round magazine. So use First Strike rounds, fire it, really, you know, show yourself why these Magfed markers are so cool. When you shoot First Strike rounds, you'll find out why, and also why a lot of us who play Magfed loves it, because the First Strike round performance, the accuracy, the distance, it's amazing. Okay. Number 2 is hopper, right? Don't play with a hopper. Don't, guys. We're playing Magfed. Don't play with the hopper. And lastly, guys, just playing with it at all, right? Go and shooting it, go and testing it. Just don't let it sit on your wall. use the marker, have fun with it, yeah, and get to learn it. All right, guys, that's my top 5 videos. If you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button. Peace.